What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Good morning. Welcome to another day of transfer news. Another transfer view, actually. Obviously, Monday to Friday is our flagship show, 9 a.m. The weekend is where it's a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit more ad hoc. But there's always content for you guys. But as per usual, with what's been going on in the last few days, man, it's been ridiculous. There's just been news everywhere. And today and this morning is no different. So smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Today we're going to be talking about the £40 million price tag set by Inter Milan, or the best part of 50 million euros for Andre Onana. Owen?
What's his name?
Onana. Owen?
What's his name? It doesn't sound as good as when Rihanna did it. I don't think when we try that, with me screaming.
No. But yes, Andre Onana's price tag and Manchester United's interest in him, with obviously the revelations about David De Gea yesterday, which you guys all saw, and Ten Hag's striker dilemma. We're going to talk about that as well. Laurie Whitwell and others have had a lot to say about the chase of Rasmus Hojlund. Ollie Watkins' name's even been mentioned in there. Ironically, I was saying that the other day, you're going to start getting a lower caliber of striker being priced out the market for astronomical price for Rasmus Hojlund, which Manchester United will not go anywhere near. So it leaves Ten Hag with a real striker dilemma. But let's go to the top of the news, which is Andre Onana, 40 million price tag set.
Yes, this comes from Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail. It's a little bit about David De Gea, his possible exit, and players if indeed De Gea exits the club this summer. So he said when it comes to De Gea, the framework of a new deal to reduce David De Gea's current salary was agreed some time ago, but Erik ten Hag is unconvinced about keeping him as number one and would rather sign a new first-choice goalkeeper, which again would kind of make sense considering by all accounts and reports, the deal was ready to go, but as of right now, it hasn't been signed off. And they were saying that actually it was Erik ten Hag they were waiting to sign it off. So that leads to question: if not De Gea between the sticks next season, who's it going to be? Well, according to Chris Wheeler, he has said the likes of Andre Onana or David Raya are valued in the region of £40 million, as opposed to the £15 million it would cost to bring in a competitor for David De Gea, which underlines the issues United faced this summer working on a tighter budget to meet FFP requirements. Manchester United need to sell players to finance more signings, and they would prefer to secure David De Gea on a new deal rather than have to buy a replacement. However, Ten Hag has reservations. And when it comes to the discussions about Andre Onana, Sky Sports in Italy are reporting that currently Chelsea are considered totally excluded from a deal for Andre Onana after meetings with Inter Milan in London. Manchester United have an important liking for the goalkeeper. Inter will not negotiate for lower than 50 million euros, which again is around 40 million pounds, as the Daily Mail was reporting. So really interesting stuff there, actually, Flex. So you've kind of got two prongs to this. One, you've got actually Ten Hag's got his massive doubts about David De Gea. He's got massive doubts. And to be fair, when you do take a step back, you go, well, that makes a lot of sense. Because if Ten Hag really wanted to keep David De Gea, he'd have signed a new contract by now. It's ready to go. It's ready to go. He'd have signed it off. So he's got reservations. And there is a deal there to be done for an Andre Onana, because if they're having meetings with Chelsea like they did, and they set a price, he's available. Now United know that price. And then actually, it's 40 million quid. Like, you saw him in the Champions League final. It's good value. That's good value.
Very good. Yeah.
FFP, they're like, can we afford it? And as the conversation we've been having over and over again, what's the priority level of this one? Because we're going to get into striker later on. But if it's a second priority, then maybe they can justify spending 40 million quid on a goalkeeper and letting De Gea go. If it's a little bit further down, then maybe they take the easier option. What do you make of those developments?
Just on the availability of trying to get him, like you said, kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul and move the money around so it can make sense kind of thing, yeah? Surely off like the player sales, and then if you do get rid of De Gea, which is 200 grand a week. I'm not that good at math, so 200 grand a week. Oh, yeah, sorry, he's on 375 at the moment, isn't he? Yeah. So what's that a year? 375 times 12.
I think they were saying is it like 20 million or so a year, something like that.
Right.
It's a lot.
So 20 million, but obviously you're going to have to give Onana wages. Let's say you gave him 100 grand a week, probably a bit more, maybe. Onana, if he comes, what would it be? 100, 120? I want to try and do some maths here. Let's try and do some. I'm actually going to.
Let me get my calculator too.
Yeah, let's do some actual maths, and let's
round it. Say he's on 400k a week. That helps a lot in terms of rounding it up.
Right? All right, all right, cool.
Yeah, just for those
400k
purposes.
400k a week.
400,000. So times that by 4. to get to a month. Yeah, 400k
Yeah,
a week
okay, a
times
month.
by
Yeah,
4,
yeah.
and then times that by 12.
No, divided by 4.
Times it by 4.
400k a week. Oh, times by 4 weeks. Yeah. So that's what it is.
He's on 19.2 million a year. And we've rounded that up actually. So he's probably on about 19, about 19, maybe a little bit less.
So let's just say it's
round
20,
it to 20.
Let's round it to 20 for the purposes of this, because when we get to the final answer, we'll deduct a couple.
Maths view.
Maths view. So if it's 20 million for De Gea to keep him, that's what it is, yeah? Well, that's what he's on now, should I say?
Yeah.
Say you just get rid of it all. He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 20 million freed up. How much would Onana... So we've got 20 million in the bank there.
Yeah.
How much would Onana be? Say Onana was 120 grand a week. Is that fair for him, would you say? Or would he be 100? It's got to be over 100.
He certainly wouldn't be the Gea wages.
No.
The highest paid keepers in the Premier, like people like Edison are just over 100. I think Alisson, I think, is also just over.
Man United going to give him 100, aren't they? They're going to give him 100. So let's do Onana's wages at 100.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, apparently, I'm looking on Google, and again, not a good indicator, but they're saying that he's on like nearly 70 grand a week.
So at Man United, he's going to be on 100.
120.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah, but let's just round it to 100 for the purposes of what we're doing, which is crazy, right? So 20 million for David De Gea, cool, that's gone. So how much is Onana going to be out of that 20 million is what I want to say. So he costs 40 million.
He's going to be... You ready for this, Fleck? Yeah.
What's he going to be?
He's going to be on 4.8 million a year.
Right. So just by giving him 100k a week, he's going to be on 4.8 million a year. So round that to 5 million, yeah?
Yeah.
So 5 million out of De Gea's 20 million, yeah? That's 15 million left. And he's going to cost 40 million to buy, right? Isn't he? He's going to cost 40 million to buy.
Yeah.
So deduct. So with the money that's left from the De Gea money, you've paid Onana 5 million.
Yeah.
Out of De Gea's 20. So there's 15 left. Put the 15 towards that 40.
Yeah.
What we got?
25
million. So really, you could say that I know this is crazy how I'm doing it.
And it doesn't work like that because you've got signing on bonuses and agent fees.
And it doesn't work like that. But let's just strip it down to those kind of mechanics.
Yeah.
Sell Henderson to Forest for 25 million. There's your Onana.
Well, and also Fleck, yeah. This is what you also got to think about. Eric Bailly, Alex Telles.
Exactly.
Phil Jones just went. He was on 100k a week.
What was Axel and Zabi on? 60 grand a week, probably?
Something like that.
50 grand, maybe? Something like
that.
These are the things. So I know it's not Football Manager and it's not FIFA. There's going to be people saying, you idiots, transfers don't work like that. But in theory, on a really, really basic level, they do, because Man United need player sales to actually get money to do this. So if we're doing player sales includes the transfer fees you get in for selling the player, and they also include the wages that you save because you don't have to pay that player anymore.
Yeah, and we're not and those players that I mentioned, the likes of Eric Bailly, Alex Telles. I know they're not going for a lot, but we're not selling them to get like for likes for them. We're getting rid of them just to raise funds, and because they've got no place at the club
they've
anymore.
Not been anywhere near the squad, so it doesn't matter about like for like.
And someone like a Dean Henderson, you are going like for like, and maybe you're not going to get as much as you did. You were going to get from last year. Maybe it is going to be 15 million or 20. I don't think you'd probably get as high as 25, honestly, Flex. But
yeah, probably 20.
Maybe 20. Even if it was 15, I mean, you can raise some.
It's
good
most
cash
of the money.
there.
That's what I'm saying. We're only out of our actual budget. They had to put like 10 million into the Onana deal because it was freed up by David De Gea going, and it was freed up by the wages, and it was freed up by Dean Henderson going. So really, David De Gea and Dean Henderson both going is probably the whole value of Onana. Because what's Henderson? Henderson's on 100 grand a week as well. Wait there. He's on 100 grand a week. He is. So 100 grand a week, we've just worked out it's 5 million.
Yeah.
So that's another 5 million through the door, plus a 15 that you're going to get for him. So you're getting about 20 by getting Henderson out. And you've saved 20, or because we rounded things up, let's say you're saving 15 from David De Gea. That's Onana right there. With the goalkeepers that we've got, we can get them out. One's on a free, so it don't matter. Wash your hands of him in the most respectful way. Not your problem anymore. And the other one, you sell him.
Well, make no mistake as well, and I'm sure you would hope anyway that these United executives or negotiation or finance people would be doing these numbers to a much bigger degree than we are.
Yeah, not just rounding things up and saying it's probably this.
No, exactly, on their phone. But
and going on Google.
my point is, I think it's going to be a really strong indicator of maybe backing Ten Hag's the wrong word, but how much control Ten Hag has.
No, it is backing. That's the right word, Owen. That's the right word.
But like, you know, if the manager has doubts or reservations about the current keeper and is saying, you know what, I know he's been here a while, I know there's an offer there that's on the table, and you're waiting for me to sign it off, but I'm having doubts about putting that pen to paper or giving that seal of approval. And he turns to John Murtaugh, Richard Arnold, and goes, no, I don't think we should do it. I think we should go for another goalkeeper. And they're going, yeah, but Eric, the price and FFP. And he goes, strike a goalkeeper. That's what I want. That's what I want then. Strike a goalkeeper. And they go, yeah, but we thought we had some with Kim and Jay, and that's fallen apart now. And he goes, okay, then we won't get a centre back. We'll go for something different. Do we need the turns back? Because do we need a new
the priorities can shift?
They shift. They can shift. They can. Yeah. And again, and this is what I've been saying about De Gea. I think they shift dependent on the expiration of his contract, i.e., you have to make a decision now within the next 2 weeks. Plus, there are other keepers available. If they look at the market, we're going to talk about strikers in a bit. For a strikers market, it's tough this year because there aren't really those players available. Harry Kane's not available. Victor Osimhen, a lot of money. Is he even available? Even people like Rasmus Hojlund, their prices are going up. This summer is actually a goalkeepers market because there's multiple keepers available. There's Andre Onana, there's David Raya, there's Diogo Costa. There's 3 top quality international
people still saying
goalkeepers.
Jan Sommer could be available. I don't want him, but I'm just saying.
No, I don't want him, but even put Sommer to one side. Those 3 there are top quality international goalkeepers that fit the profile of the keeper that Erik ten Hag is looking for, and they're available. And sometimes your priorities can shift depending on who's available and the decisions you have to make regarding your own players at that time. So, and then given everything that happened at the end of the season too, so the priority has changed. Yeah, the priorities changed.
Yeah, I know it was the same area of the field, but it's a completely different type of player. Casemiro became available.
Yeah.
And we chased De Jong, so it changed. Things changed. We wanted Timber for ages. We wanted Timber. We're putting in bids for him. We're trying to get him. Said no. Signed a new deal. Turned our attentions to Martinez. Look, it changes. You know, things do change. So I 100% agree with what you're saying. And look, it is bad if it's proper worrying if we don't sort out a striker situation. It really, I don't care who we get. It really is. Like, I don't want to see it. But I don't want to be in a situation with a trade-off of saying, would you rather have sick note Martial still there and you have to just play Rashford up front and maybe a young other kid across the front somewhere, but you've got a new midfielder and you've got a new keeper. Essentially, the team still moves forward in some way, just not in the way round that I thought it was going to. We're going to have to get the keeper. And like you said, it makes it a thing for right now because David De Gea is gone. It's over. Or you sign him again. So really, your priorities change just upon that. But we saw how bad it was with having the strikers situation that we had last season and what big trouble we were in. And we still managed to get 3rd. Could you manage to still get as high as that with other teams getting better, other teams addressing things? Can Man United still put up them sort of numbers, which towards the end dwindled? Probably not, you'd say. Something's got to change. But if you counteract that with you're playing in a different way, you've got a bit more control over games because you've got a new keeper, you've got a new central midfielder, it can all you don't know how things are going to go, do you?
And also, you cannot ignore this too, is we have seen how tenacious Erik ten Hag can be for players he knows. Yeah. He knows Andre Onana. He has had him play under him before. So he knows exactly what this guy offers. And we saw last year that people like Martinez, people like Anthony, those people that he knows, their qualities inside and out, and he's already tested them in his system. He will pick them over anyone else in terms of transfer targets. He goes, I know him. I know he can do what I want him to do.
Anthony didn't give a shit about the price, did he?
Exactly. So again, my point is with a player that he knows becomes available for what he deems is an attainable price, and he's comparing it to a player that he's had for 12 months at United, he goes, actually, I know Onana's actually better. I know it because I've seen it. It's not. This isn't me relying on scouting.
I've seen him week in, week out. I know the guy. I know his temperament.
I'm sure, actually thinking about it, in his mind, he's made his mind up with that. he'll know because you'll ask him.
You've had a light bulb moment there. Just actually,
he would know. Well, he would, because if you ask Eric Ten Hag, off the record, privately, 1-to-1, who's better, De Gea or Onana, he's going to have an opinion because he's seen both of them for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So if he sees where he goes, Onana's available. I know him. Yeah, get him. Get him.
I know him.
Yeah,
I know him.
But we've seen what he's like with them, isn't he? So we can get Martinez and get him in. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because then he took a couple of training sessions. He saw Lindelof and Maguire, and you can get Martinez. Bring him in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's facts. And he played pretty much every game. Yeah. I can see why Onana would be top of the list. And look, as United fans, obviously, I think it's clear that we would probably all want him. Some people still there say no, Diogo Costa's the guy. I know more about him. He's better, or David Raya's fine, or whatever it is. But in terms of changing the keeper for the caliber of three that you mentioned, David Raya would probably be at the bottom of that, of that three. But between Onana and Costa, is there much in it? And then you've got the added bonus of Ten Hag has, like you said, has played with him in his system.
I mean, there's age
inside out.
There's age. Costa's younger than Onana. Onana's 27, but Onana's cheaper because he's older and he's just played in the Champions League final. Ten Hag knows him. 27 for a goalkeeper
great age, still quite young,
nothing. Yeah. It's nothing. What I did like, and again, this is me not having watched a lot of Diogo Costa games, it must be said, and not a lot of Andre Onana games, but you could see in a Champions League final, Flex, the guy had no problem with pressure.
No. And that's the highest level you can get.
Yeah, you need arrogance. You need a bit of an ego to play in goal for Manchester United, because that pressure, that scrutiny is massive, and plenty of good goalkeepers have tried it, and they've just felt the pressure and the weight of that shirt and crumbled. Even now, De Gea's nervous. He's been there for how many years? 12 years. So you need that bit of ego and, again, a bit of swagger, a bit of confidence. And look at the World Cup, which would make anyone nervous. Diogo Costa, you could tell, he was nervy at the end of that first game. The Portugal players surrounded him because they won it in the end, and they were like, don't worry about your mistakes and all that kind of stuff. So if it's available, 40 million, Onana, get him.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know what you guys think. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Into one dilemma to another. Striker dilemma for Eric Ten Hag. What's this looking like, Owen, and what's the kind of reports saying?
Yes, so this comes from Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic, who has said that Eric Ten Hag has a mantra. He's always got a mantra, whatever you want to call it. So when it comes to Manchester United, search for a striker, no risk, he repeats to those who ask about the qualities he desires in a new centre forward. Manchester United reportedly have been maybe looking at someone like Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa, saying Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins has a proven record in his 3 seasons in the Premier League and has been watched by Manchester United. He has 2 years left on his Villa contract, but is in talks over a new deal. Though disappointed, Ten Hag accepts the situation around Harry Kane. Manchester United now hope he does not go anywhere else before his contract expires. He prefers to stay in England. Any prospect of a move for Kylian Mbappe has also been ruled out. Rasmus Hojlund's agents held talks with Atalanta this week and were told that his fee would be 100 million euros, far above the 47 million euros that had been anticipated. Further discussions are expected ahead, but Manchester United will not bid close to that amount, nor should they, rather. So we have a situation here, Flex. As I mentioned, we've got a goalkeepers market this summer, but the strikers market looks very, very tough. You've got Kane not available, Victor Osimhen too much, and that price Napoli would be looking for is astronomical. Even someone like an Ollie Watkins, that's not guaranteed. You've got 2 years left on his contract. They've just qualified for the Europa Conference League. They're building under Unai Emery.
For him. And is that even the level that we want?
Yeah, not really. Rasmus Hojlund, who we're going, well, he's young, we'll get him 40 million. They're going 100 million euros. To be honest, if I was Hojlund and his agents, I'd be furious with Atalanta. I'd be like, you've priced me out of a move there, because they're not going to go for me.
Well, because even 47 million for this kid is like,
Yeah.
He's not, this kid looks good, but he's not done anything yet. He's a kid on the up.
10 goals in Serie A last season. You see, before that, I think it was 10 goals. Some other clubs, but
it's okay.
You go 100 million euros.
100 million. Even the 50 million, even 47 million pounds, like whatever it was going to be, you're like, all right, cool, we'll swallow that. He's young, he's up and coming, he's a bit of a prodigy. Like, you want to see you want to get as much as you can for him. But that is because they know, well, you can't get Kane, you can't get Osimhen. You need a striker, mate. That's all it is. And I'm actually really worried about that. I know, we just spoke about the keeper situation, and I'm like, yeah, because if you don't get the striker, but now we're actually talking about the striker situation. This is a big problem, in my opinion. And I don't mean to overreact or go extra, because, like I said, sometimes you end up with a player you didn't think, player you might not know much about. We will get a striker, I'm sure of it. We have to, but I have no idea who it's going to be. You'd think it's more likely going to be Hojlund, and obviously not for that stupid price, because that's the one we've been most into. Colin Muwayne's gone a bit quiet, and it's so weird, because I said the other day, because before you know it, you're into a caliber of Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
Okay, Ivan Toney's out till January, but how can anybody try and buy Ivan Toney, and how can Brentford agree to selling him? They could be hanging on for relegation by then. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
they might
they
need
had
it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they had
By
a
the time he comes
situation
back,
when Ericsson came in the season before last season, not the one just gone, the season before that. They got Ericsson was in January, and basically kept them from getting relegated. So that January signing or January return from Ivan Toney could keep them up at that point. You never know.
So for that reason, we can't do without a striker for 6 months. We've just been in that position, so we can't afford to wait till January to get Ivan Toney, and Brentford can't afford to get to then and say we don't need him anymore. So Ivan Toney's off the cards for anybody. Ollie Watkins is sharp. He's a good striker. Is he Man United level? It's a weird one with Ollie Watkins, because if you just put him in the team and made him play with the players, he probably would score some goals. He probably would, because he's good. But it's not the level we want, is it? It just isn't.
It's not what we're looking for. No,
it's not what we're looking for. And that's not to say. So you're saying that Rasmus Hojlund, who's unproven, is better in the Premier League than Ollie Watkins? It's apples and pears.
Not
I mean,
necessarily.
I'm not necessarily saying that, but I just don't think Ollie Watkins is it. I mean, he's a really good player. I actually proper like Ollie Watkins. I think he's proper good, but I don't think he's Man United level. But who on earth are we going to get?
I was just about to say, but let's face it, we're already forced into that lesser tier, aren't we now?
Yeah.
Because
and how much is Ollie Watkins going to be if you tried to get him from Villa now?
Exactly.
60?
Exactly. Unless again, those talks of a new contract, he just went, no, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to sign it. But still, Villa will be like, well, it doesn't matter if you don't sign it. You have 2 years left. So whilst you can be unhappy, unless we get a price we're looking for, we're not going to sell you. We don't need to sell you. We've got European football this upcoming season, which is a big boost for us. We are building under Unai Emery. I tell you what, Villa were absolutely superb towards the second half of last season. They were brilliant. And so was Ollie Watkins. But it's best for his career, to be honest, that he probably sticks around at Villa for another year. And as we said, it suddenly looks like it's not a striker's market. And with people like Rasmus Hojlund, they're saying 100 million euros. Well, isn't that like the price for someone like Gonzalo Ramos? And I'm sure people at United would say, well, if we're going to spend 100 million euros, then we might go for a Gonzalo Ramos who got like 20 plus goals in Portugal last season. I share that concern with you. I really, really worry that we get to the season or the end of the transfer window and we still don't have that striker. But we can't do that. We can't. I don't mean to be melodramatic or anything like that, Flex, but if that scenario happens, that we even start the season, let alone the end of the transfer window, start the season without a new striker, I think you can kiss goodbye to hopes of getting in the top 4. I think we were fortunate to do it this past season, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
We got lucky. We got lucky that Ten Hag's that good. We got lucky that, let's face it, Marcus Rashford lifted
as well.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford lifted the load when it came to goal scoring. He's got 30 goals in all comps. As you mentioned, other teams weren't at it, which you have to keep keep an eye out for. People like Liverpool weren't at it. Chelsea weren't at it. Spurs dropped off. But other teams are getting better. Newcastle will be better. They've already got strikers who are going to get better. City, they're City. Arsenal are Arsenal. They'll score goals. Liverpool will score goals. And Spurs, despite them being crap or whatever, they've still got Harry Kane, so they're going to score goals. Villa, we just said about that. Imagine they do a full season like the second half of the season they did. They'll be there and thereabouts. They'll be pushing.
Everyone with proper strikers, near enough all these teams score more than us.
Yeah, exactly. And we just, but right now, you do step back and go, like you said, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Colin Muwayne? Is it going to be? I can't be Hojlund for that price. That is nonsensical. Let's face it, for that price. I don't know.
We scored 58. We scored 58 goals, just to make it glaringly obvious how important it is, and let's not lose track of what our most important weakness is that needs fixing. I know the goalkeeper. I know the midfield, but let's not because we can get Onana, because we can maybe get Mount. Let's not forget though what our main problem is. Because even if you get these players, you still need a reliable goal scorer to put the ball in the back of the net, which is why it's a premium. This is why it's a difficult thing. We scored 58 goals. So we finished third and we scored 58 goals. Let's just put this into context here. Yeah, City scored 94 goals. It's City. Arsenal scored 88. 88. They scored 30 more goals than we did. We scored 58. Newcastle scored 68. Even they scored 10 more goals than us. Liverpool, 75 goals they scored. They finished 5th. Brighton scored 72 goals. Evan Ferguson and them, man. Danny Welbeck. Villa, they scored 51. And look at the first half of their season.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Tottenham scored 70 goals. 70. We scored the same goals as Brentford. And Ivan Toney scored 20. And Fulham scored 55. We scored 3 more goals than Fulham. And then after that, so down to 10th, yeah, we're like 9th on the joint 9th on the goal scoring list. Well, maybe 8th on the goal scoring list. After 10th, it gets stupid, obviously, because the teams are like 10th. But that just shows you, out of the whole top 10, who actually the top 10 teams, our record against them was absolutely shocking, by the way.
Yeah.
But also, near enough, all of those teams, 80% of them teams scored more than us. That tells you everything you need to know about Man United, everything. And we got the most clean sheets, got the glove, golden glove. So that tells you everything that you need to know for us.
Yeah, and again, you look at that report from Laurie Whitwell, where he says Ten Hag's mantra is no risk. We're in risk territory.
Yeah.
We're already there, Eric, because any transfer is a risk anyway. But there isn't that no risk striker out there that now, because anyone we bring in, we're like, is it going to work out? You go, I don't know, but we need someone. We need to do something. And I'm almost morbidly curious, Flex, to see who that person is going to be, because it can't be no one. And I'm sure Eric will be saying that too, saying it can't be no one. But who's it going to be?
The question is, Owen, the question is it going to be another stopgap type? Where, and not even, I don't mean loan, not even just loan. I mean someone who's not that expensive, that it's like, well, look, he's young, he's 25 million. It is what it is. Like, he will obviously.
I don't know if it'll be that. I think it might be someone where they bring in, but there's an acknowledgement of there's no one that we could really think that we could get. So we're still going to spend money on it, and we're still going to bring him in. But the mindset is we're going to go for Kane on a free next summer. Like that's what we've got to do. But you got to get someone. You can't get no one. And frankly, even if it is, because imagine going into the season and you go, who's your strikers? It's Ollie Watkins and Anthony Martial. You go, well, good luck to Watkins all season then.
Yeah. But what about Martial doing a double Rashford, like I was saying with KG? What was his massive redemption? We thought Rashford was done, couldn't control the football. Scored 30 goals next year.
Flex.
Double Rashford. He does a double.
Flex.
Double, Owen. Double.
Flex.
Double.
If Anthony Martial does a double Rashford, his fingers will break. That's how frail he is. And in doing that, he'd have torn his rotator cuff and ripped his hamstring in half.
Owen, can I ask you this, yeah?
Ask me it.
Is there any way that Martial can stay fit next season? Or you're saying the rest of his career, he's done now? For his whole career, he's going to be like that?
No. He cut Flex.
His whole career is like that, yeah? Okay.
It was 12 months. And not only that, if it was one injury that was persistent throughout the season, I would say you might be able to get over that.
Yeah.
They were different injuries.
Especially that one near the end.
His hamstring, his knee, his hamstring, his hip, his back.
Yeah. He's falling apart.
I don't sympathize.
So he can't get
with
fixed.
Him,
he can't in the off season. He's got full time off, no training. Let me just go sort my body out.
He was fixed last summer.
Yeah, I agree.
And also as well, this management and medical team has proven for a player like Rafael Varane, who's frail, that they can manage frail players and they can make them play the majority of the games. Rafael Varane, but he played the majority of the games this season, didn't he? He's going to pick up injuries. Rafael Varane is not going to have a season where he doesn't pick up injuries. We've accepted that. Basically. But he played the majority of the games. The times he got injured that I can recall were Chelsea just before the World Cup, Sevilla, and he might have missed a couple of games here and there. But for the majority of the season, he was fit and he was available. Anthony Martial didn't complete 90 minutes, Flex. There's a massive difference in between Varane and Martial.
Sorry, I'm just... Varane made 46 appearances this year.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Played 20, but he played 24 times in the league. But you know how crazy it is? That's only 2 more times than he played in the league this season before. And we said the season before he was plagued with injuries and couldn't do anything. He only played 2 more games in the league.
But what about in all comps though?
In all comps, he made 46. What did he make last year in all comps?
Because you have to remember last season in all comps, we went out very early, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So he's played it, but he's played 47. And we played over 50 games this year, didn't we, or something like that? So he played in a hell of a lot of games compared to last year. So he did prove that. Or we kind of disproved the thing that he's never available. Obviously, he did have a big injury, the one after Sevilla in the same game as Martinez, and the one just before Chelsea. But luckily at Chelsea, but he was ready for the World Cup. Really, he missed the first game and then he came in and played all the way through to the final, didn't he? So and he was solid, and I got France to the final and was solid. And he was absolutely dead on his feet in the final. I was right in front of him when he just fell over with the corner flag. But that was like 110 minutes or something like that. So. Yeah, he's proved that he can still be that guy, but he's going to need help, isn't he? He's going to need help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's your news, guys. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. What is your thoughts on Andre Onana? And how do you think? Do we go for him, depending on the budget or whatever, or do we just, like we said, we can raise the money? Dean Henderson out, De Gea out, Onana in. There's pretty much your money there. Would you do that? And let us know how worried you are about the striker situation. Rasmus Hojlund being quoted at stupid prices. Ollie Watkins' name's been mentioned. Not necessarily linked, but just mentioned. Does that worry you? And what do you think our striker situation is going to look like come the end of the summer transfer window? Guys, we'll see you again very, very soon. And yeah, if there's any other news, we'll be live across that. Take care. Peace.